May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Shweta?
Yes, sir.
Shweta, you're comfortable with English?
Yes, sir.
And is that your preferred medium as far as interview is concerned?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shweta, you must have noticed that we are following COVID guidelines as much as possible, and that's why your chair is kept at such a distance. I hope you won't mind.
Okay,
Also, it will keep you safe.
yes,
At the
sir.
same time, we are wearing mask while we are not speaking. Same applies to you. If you believe that you're comfortable and feeling safe,
Yes,
then you can even remove your mask.
okay,
Although
sir.
if you want to appear with the mask, you are allowed to, but I think
Sir,
it
I
will be
want to
better.
remove that.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you, sir.
Especially since there is that fogging thing when you wear a mask.
Yes.
So you're comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Can we start?
Yes, sir.
To begin with, I want you to introduce yourself to the board members in a manner that your caste, your identity, your community, these things are not indicated,
Okay.
and still we come to know something about you.
Okay. So I'm from Delhi. I have done my schooling from the government school. I have done BCom honors from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College, Delhi University. Then MCom from 𝐈𝐀𝐒, and I have done Master in Public Administration from 𝐈𝐀𝐒. In 2017, I cleared UGC NET with the commerce subject, and in 2018, I worked as an assistant professor in Delhi University and junior project fellow in NCERT. And since then, I was preparing for the civil services.
You're still teaching somewhere?
No, sir.
You were assistant professor in Delhi University for a brief period, and then
Yes.
you left the job. Or
Yes,
you...
sir. It was non-collegiate, sir.
Oh, so it was a non-collegiate thing.
Yes, sir.
So it appears that you're good as far as your studies are concerned.
Yes.
So why are you here? I mean, you lived all your life in Delhi,
Yes, sir.
and you're good in academics. I'm sure you'll get a good job if you try in Delhi itself.
Yes, sir.
You're coming all the way to UP for that. If you're posted in Gorakhpur or Sonbhadra, what will you do? You'll not be able to breathe.
No, sir, I don't believe in this. Sir, my first priority was to become a civil servant, and I was preparing from 2013 onwards. That's why I chose 𝐈𝐀𝐒 for my post-graduation. And I did commerce just because to have enriched my knowledge with respect to commerce, and also done public administration to deepen my knowledge with respect to governance. And I worked in NCERT just to understand how the government function, and I worked in various areas with respect to education, because it's related with NCERT is related with education. And after kind of new energy, new motivation, I again started my preparation. I never get diverted, or academics was not my priority, sir.
Shweta, you just mentioned that commerce basically is your own subject.
Yes, sir.
If you look at the stock markets these days,
Yes,
it
sir.
appears that the economy and stock market have become two distinct worlds.
Yes, sir.
There is no reason for stock market to boom in a time when economies all around the world are actually in a limbo.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me why the stock market no more reflect economy?
Sir, during the COVID pandemic, it was seen that, but now, yes, some days before, it has reached up to 50,000, sorry, just because new president Joe Biden has come into power, and COVID vaccine also come into the picture, and vaccination has started, and the relation between...
In last 1 year, we have seen huge heights world over as far as indexes are concerned.
Yes, sir.
There was no reason. Economy was not performed. There was no demand. There was actually production was low. No trade was taking place. Countries were under lockdown.
Yes,
Even
sir.
now, when we are appearing, for example, in India, when it appears that probably things are going to be a little better,
Yes, sir.
stock market is collapsing now. From last 2 days, we see that it's not doing that well.
So, but some days before, I have studied about the Sensex has...
Anyway, is there a relationship between the stock exchange
Yes, sir.
and economy? If it
Yes,
is, what exactly is the relationship?
So, Sensex reflect the confidence of investors, and if it is going up, that means investors are thinking about the economy, consider economy in the positive terms. And recently, Mr. Joe Biden come into the power, and the relation between India and the US and the West Asia is also improving, and India is also moving towards vaccination. that is creating the confidence among the investor. That's why they are investing, and Sensex is moving.
Anyways, Shweta, you mentioned you have studied from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College.
Yes,
Which party Shyama Prasad Mukherjee belonged to?
the BJP was the founder of BJP.
He was founder of the BJP. And what was his activities before the BJP was formed?
So before that, he was the cabinet minister in Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru cabinet as the Minister of Industries and the Policies.
Right. So how come he became a turncoat from a Congress person to a BJP person?
Sir,
Was he a Congress person when he was a minister?
No, sir.
He was not.
He was not. Sir, actually he was believe in the Jawaharlal Nehru objective towards the India, but later during the Jawaharlal, there was an agreement. I'm not able to recall. Its Liaquat Pact was there, in which the India and Pakistan agreed to exchange the refugees with respect to their property, and the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was not agree with that. That's why he resigned and joined his independent party. That was the Bharatiya Jan Sangh at that time. Later it became the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Fine, thank you. Sir.
So you have taken commerce,
Yes,
right
sir.
person to ask a very important question, that is what brightest star of world economy, right, as quoted by International Monetary Fund.
Yes, sir.
On the basis of one particular point, the December collection of GST
Yes, sir.
of India is the highest in the history, that is 1.15 lakh crore,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
My question is what are the reason, in spite of what almost complete 1 year COVID pandemic, December collection of GST,
Yes,
that is
sir.
the brightest or actually strongest economic instrument,
Yes, sir.
is the highest 1.15 lakh crore. Why?
Sir, first of all, there was a festive season at that time, and it was short term in.
Look, every year festivals come,
Yes, sir.
and the festivals organized and managed this year is what least,
Yes, sir.
right, because of COVID.
Yes, sir.
So can't consider such type of fact. Look, this is not the fact.
So
Other
this is
point,
one
this
of.
is what 1.15.
Yes, sir.
This is what GST implemented in 2017.
Yes, sir.
Look, and this time getting what highest. Why?
Sir, first of all, I have that like as far as I have studied, that was the first of all. The reason is festive season was there at that time, and the second, there was a Mr. Joe Biden was already elected. So somewhere he was getting the confidence among the investors. That could be the one of the reason. And third, vaccination was on the pipeline.
Is
That
it any
is-
kind of what GST?
Yes, sir.
And,
GST.
GST on
Yes.
what actually investment
Yes, sir.
by foreigners? Is the any what tax on what GST tax on what foreign investment in India?
The reason behind that, the China was the aggressive and getting expensive.
Okay, my next question. Next question is what a classical question from commerce.
Okay.
Look, you have to read what theories of unionism, right? Unionism.
Yes, sir.
Look, for past few years in India,
Yes.
in particular,
Yes, sir.
and world in general, occurrence of what trade union strikes,
Yes, sir.
the intensity, frequency, and to great extent dropped suddenly.
Yes, sir.
What is the actual reason? On the basis of theories of unionism, which you have read in what commerce, how you explain this behavior?
Sir, as per you, theories is there, I'm not able to recall, but I can tell about the general reason behind that.
Yes. You tell
Sir,
me.
first of the techno stress is there just because of lockdown, and the work from home is, earlier it was limited, but now it's become 24/7 hour. That is creating the.
Yes, this is one of the reason. Next
And
point.
second, the a labor issue was also come into the picture. Earlier it was all were getting
Okay, what is the aims and objective of new labor policy of India? You have told me, look,
Yes, sir.
labor laws. So what is the aims and objective of new labor policy of government of India?
So recently 4 codes has been brought by the government of India in this direction, and the basic objective to integrate the different 57 laws were earlier, but now they have integrated all of them, and the
Integration is one of them. Next point. Please.
and in expansion their ambit also, example gig workers, platform workers are also included.
Look, you have to read in commerce wage policy.
Yes, sir.
So how the new labor policy is going to affect wage policy of
Yes, sir.
government of India in particular, and states in general? Wage policy.
Sir, as the labor comes under the concurrent list and states labor situation vary from state to state, and although Parliament has made one law that may affect the state interest and their industrial policy in general, and recently new new minimum wage
Look,
floor.
we have classical systematic approach in
Yes,
commerce
sir.
and neoclassical systematic.
Yes, sir.
How neoclassical systematic approach is better
Yes, sir.
to what actually promote
Yes, sir.
trade and commerce or business in India,
Sir,
adopted by most of the multinational companies?
yes, sir. Sir, classical theories talks about that productive worker is the happy worker. It means that they are economic in nature, whereas the new classical theory talks about productive workers is a happy worker, and that is a big difference. And if new international
Okay, thank you. Good.
Shweta, tell us something about Paharganj.
Sir, earlier it was known as the Shahganj. This is one of the favorite place of Shah Jahan in the Mughal area, Mughal period, and it was surrounded by many ancient market, example Chavdi Bazaar, Chandni Chowk, Sadar, and it.
Why this is so disorganized and dirty?
Yes,
What
sir.
about municipal corporations function there?
Sir, I'll say the reason behind that dual control of the government. Here the central government and state government is also having the control, and that led the multiplicity of the municipality that's make them ineffective. And we all know everyone's responsibility is no one's responsibility. This is one of the reason. And it is surrounded by many like markets. That's why tourist space is also getting emerged, and the unauthorized colonies also getting just because to have a employment opportunity. That is the reason behind there.
This unauthorized colony is a pan-Indian phenomenon.
Yes, sir.
Among all the cities.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the city governance in India is very poor and lacking imagination?
Sir, up to some extent it is exists just because of weakening kind of role of local self-government, not in Delhi but all over the country, just because of lack of finance function and the functionaries. And Delhi specific, the control of center and the state is also playing the greater role, because sometimes, as we recently have seen, that the municipality is not working efficiently, or Delhi has become the garbage just because of these issues. Center is saying that we have passed their like dues, but state is saying, like Delhi Union Territory is saying that still we are waiting for that. That kind of miscommunication, lack of understanding and coordination affects the governance.
On the one hand, we want to become a world leader. We are having aspiration to become permanent member in Security Council.
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, we are not able to manage our internal governance and administrative issues.
Yes, sir.
Do you find our claim to be carrying weight?
Sir, to become the permanent member in UNSC is an international issue, whereas the city governance is a domestic issue. And definitely, if we bring some kind of reform, example municipal bonds, and taking the participation from the private sector, then definitely we can improve our city governance. And with respect to UNSC permanent membership, currently I'll say we are not that much deserving, but later in few years we could, because currently India is facing some kind of challenges. Firstly, we need to focus over there, and then we can claim for the.
That means until we set examples, until we show examples to the world, we can't convince the world that we are having valid claim.
For permanent membership, sir?
Yeah, if we are not able to maintain our cities in a good fashion,
Yes,
how can we make a valid claim to the foreigners that, okay, give us chance, we'll make your life better?
So for that, many initiatives has been taken in this direction. Example, smart cities there, Amrut cities there.
Which is the first functional smart city in India?
Well, right now, Gujarat gift cities, I think so, sir. I'm not aware about that.
Yeah, that's true. But how many functional smart cities are there in India apart from gift?
Sir, I think it's nearly 30 out of 100. That is a challenge for us to become to complete all 100 targets.
Okay. What do you understand by crony capitalism?
Sir, as far as I'm able to collect my information, it is related with someone is using his own capital for his own benefit. And this, sir, as I'm able to collect.
What is position of India in global corruption index?
Sir, it's nearby 80.
80?
Yes, sir.
From top?
Sir, stand 80, I think. So global perception index is there. Corruption perception index.
Okay. So do you think that there has been some improvement? That means
Should we go up in this ranking or should we go down?
Sir, we should go down.
So are we going down fast enough?
Sir, maybe because many initiatives has been taken also in this direction.
Do you feel that this ease of doing business is only contributing in widening inequality in recent years? Because it is giving undue freedom to rich and powerful people
Yes.
Against poor and less asset owning people.
Sir, up to some extent it benefited the corporate sector and the foreign investors as well, because recently, and for example, adhere with the rule of law is not the features under the ease of doing business that may undermine the law in India. And but I say different states and the Niti Aayog is also considering the loopholes of ease of doing business. They are issuing their own index which will consider the state participation and their interest
Okay,
also.
Shweta, nice.
Shweta, you're from Delhi, you want to come to UP. Can you tell me how many Vidhan Parishad seats are there in UP?
Sir, Vidhan Parishad stand for?
Legislative Council?
Sir, it's 100.
100.
Yes.
And who is the chairman of the Legislative Council in UP?
Sir, sorry, not able to recall right now.
You're not able to recall that. Do you know how many ministers in UP cabinet are from Vidhan Parishad?
Sorry, sir.
Vidhan Parishad, what are different quotas in Vidhan Parishad in UP?
Sir, Vidhan Parishad is Legislative Council.
Yes.
Sir, quota, it means ST and SC?
No. How many? What are the different colleges, electoral colleges that send their representative to Vidhan Parishad, in which proportion?
Okay, sir. 1/6 is appointed by the governor, and the 1/12 is appointed by their graduates and the teachers, and the
appointed, elected, selected, what?
Sir, it's elected, I think so.
So the entire population
Yes, sir.
votes for these people, or entire graduates in entire population vote for these people? How this election is done?
Sir, 1/4 is elected by the teachers and the graduates, and the 1/6 is appointed by the governors, and sir, rest I am not able to recall.
Anyway, since you want to come to UP despite being from Delhi, can you tell me what is the name of UP Emporium in Delhi?
Sorry, sir.
Where is UP Bhavan located?
Sir, I guess Lucknow, because it's a
Uttar
capital.
Pradesh Bhavan in Delhi. Where
Okay, sir.
Uttar Pradesh Bhavan in Delhi is located in Delhi?
Sir, sorry, not aware of it.
What are the exhibits from UP in National Museum of Delhi?
Sorry, sir. No.
Do you ever have considered UP as a place worth living? Because you seems to be not at all interested in UP. What is the Delhi Hut Pavilion, Delhi Hut, the stall of UP in Delhi Hut called?
Sir, I found UP is an interesting state because it's a cultural
There seem
capital
to be no connect
among Delhi and between Delhi and
with
the UP.
you. About
Sir, my
you?
in-laws from the UP, so I found some kind of connection is there.
Obviously, you can't. If your husband is a good connection, but what else?
Sir, I visited many places in UP and some kind Hindi-speaking
You want to
states.
go from Delhi to Lucknow by road. Can you tell me what are going to be the main toll gates? Must have visited.
Yes, sir, but I never noticed. But the Yamuna Expressway is the one
There
of the
are 3 toll gates on Yamuna Expressway, or 2?
Sir, never noticed. Yes, sir.
Fine, Shweta, it was nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, may I go?
Please do. Take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Right, Shweta. So, tell me, how was it? What are the areas you believe that you did fine, and where you believe that probably you can improve a bit?
Sir, I was not aware about the factual knowledge regarding UP, and that was sir, I think there's an area I need to work upon.
See, Shweta, generally the candidates like you're definitely a bright candidate. Generally your personality is good. Your both verbal and non-verbal communication parameters are good. But you will be facing a prejudice in a sense that they'll have this kind of prejudice in their mind that you are an outsider. So the linkages become important. Okay, so my advice will be initially when you're introducing yourself, if your in-laws are from UP, that makes sense to start from that point.
Okay, sir.
right? So do indicate the your connection with the state
Okay.
rather than being alien to that place.
Okay.
Okay, that will be in your favor.
Okay,
That
sir.
is what my advice is. See, your entry is good.
Okay,
Your
sir.
you generally you greet well. Your sitting posture is good. Your voice level in general is good. Hand movement is restricted more or less. Eye contact is good. Flow is good. So as I said, the communication parameters in place. When it comes to the knowledge part, usually your content is good when you're being the topics are being discussed about something which is available in the competition books, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
you appear to be a prepared, well coached candidate.
Okay.
Which is good, which is bad. Which is good in the sense that it means that you are almost in no area you're clueless.
Okay.
Okay, but then also it also means that it becomes a little tutored kind of personality. That
Okay.
may be something in their mind. So maybe whenever you are thrown with the open-ended question,
Okay.
whenever you're thrown with the question where you can show your analytical part, which you do very well, grab that opportunity, right?
Okay.
Make maximum out of it. Otherwise, generally you are doing very, very good.
Okay,
I liked the entire conversation. Expect a little more diverse or maybe areas which are not discussed here. There is no syllabus to it. But in general, you are handling it well. So I don't see any major issue with it. The only thing is the approach should be, in my opinion, approach that shows connectedness with the state. That will be good,
Okay,
right? Also, when you react to certain questions, that can probably be a more for example, when the questions about UP were being asked, you had that kind of expression in your mind. What is this? Why am I being asked these questions, right?
Okay.
Though there was a definite logic why these questions were. Even if you're asked question which see no connect with your biography, your biodata or anything, even then the facial expression always should be, I need to know, I should be knowing, that kind of stuff, rather than forget it, right?
Okay, sir.
Everything else is very good. I'm sure you'll do very good, right?
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.